Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. Yeah, I am here to talk about sugaring and waxing. Obviously, as the title says, it's just sugaring versus waxing. I am going to kind of touch base on a few different things, why sugaring is more beneficial than waxing, and some of the main differences of the two. I have got my little list of things right here, and so I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the video. For those of you who do not know what sugaring is, it is a natural form of hair removal. It is made up of sugar, lemon, and water. It is heated up to room temperature, and then when it is applied to the skin, it heats itself up to your body temperature. So there is absolutely no chance in getting burnt or anything like that. So unlike waxing is straight heated, and you can get seriously burnt with it because it doesn't heat up to your skin temperature. It needs to be heated up past that point so that it is pliable to the skin. Sugaring uses no sticks, no strips, nothing like that. It is just a ball of sugar. It is used with your hand, and you apply it in the opposite direction of the hair growth, and you remove it in the natural direction that your hair grows. Everybody's hair grows different ways. Different parts of your arm or leg or what have you grow in different directions. So you remove it in the way that hair follicle grows, so that when you're removing it, it takes that entire follicle with it. It's just a flick of the wrist. You remove it with the flick of the wrist in the natural direction of the hair growth, and when you do that, it helps collapse that follicle. That's how we get more permanent results with that, because then their hair does not grow back in that same spot. So the more follicles that are collapsed, the less hair is going to grow. And each time that you remove the hair with the sugaring method, the hair comes back thinner and finer. So that is definitely a huge plus. When the sugar paste is applied to the skin in the opposite direction of the hair growth, it seeps into the follicles and into the pores and wraps around that hair follicle. So it gets down deep into there and grabs onto that whole hair follicle. So instead of like ripping or tearing that follicle, it's taking that whole thing out. Where waxing, you're removing the hair in the opposite direction. So it tugs on the skin, which irritates the skin. It also can break or tear the hair follicle or the hair. So you're not removing that complete follicle. So that's why a lot of times with waxing you don't see permanent results. The differences between sugaring and waxing with like ingrown hair follicles: when you're removing the hair with the waxing method, they're removing it in the opposite direction of the hair growth, which is not only going to irritate the skin, but it's also going to rip and tug on that hair follicle, and it's going to rip it backwards, so that when that hair follicle starts to grow back, it's going to grow back backwards with the direction that it was ripped. And so it grows underneath the skin rather coming out smoothly the direction that it naturally grows in the first place. And that is what creates an ingrown hair. Where sugaring, it's removed natural direction, so it doesn't change or rip that hair follicle, which is really nice. We don't want any ingrown hairs, but also you still need to take precautions just in case, because sometimes hair follicles close up. So you just need to take care of that that top layer of dead skin. So between sugaring sessions, exfoliate that top layer of skin and make sure you're moisturized properly. So another thing is that sugaring is a natural exfoliant. It naturally exfoliates the skin, and it just so happens that it also removes the hair. So it's like a 2-in-1, and that's really, really awesome. I worked in a sugaring studio and where I live, and I absolutely loved it. It completely changed my hair removal life. And yeah, I will never ever wax again. It's also why sugar paste is it's safe for any part of the body. I've had my legs sugared, my underarms, my brows, down there, and I can't remember if I got my face done or not, because we had some girls who were training practice on employees before they did outside clients. Yeah, it was a really, really, really awesome experience, and I was thrilled to have the job and to work where I did. It was an awesome studio. I will leave the website down below for you guys. And yeah, sugaring is definitely by far my #1. It's extremely gentle. It's a lot more gentle on the skin than waxing is. It's not as harsh. And also, unlike waxing cannot be removed by just warm water, where sugar paste can. If it's applied in the wrong area, or if it drips on an area that it shouldn't be or anything like that, it can just put some warm water over it and rinse it right out. I had an incident where I was going and getting my brows done or something along the lines of that, and wax got a little too far out of hand, and I walked out with pencil brows and, you know, things like that. Stuff like that happens. But with sugaring, if they are applying the sugar paste and then they just happen to maybe have too much in their hand and get a little too crazy with it, they can just take a warm wet cloth and remove it and start over again without actually removing the hair, which is awesome, because you don't want anybody removing hair that doesn't need to be removed. So yeah. I mean, this is going to be a really short video, but I will never ever suggest waxing to anybody, ever. Waxing, there are a lot of dangers with waxing, especially if the person does not know how to do it properly or they weren't taught properly. I personally do not recommend waxing. It's really personal preference, but if you rather be a little bit more comfortable and less uncomfortable and less painful, I definitely would go with sugaring. And another thing is, when the hair grows back thinner and finer, it's removed a lot easier, and it literally just slips right out of that follicle instead of really holding on and being a little tougher to come out. So the thinner and finer, the easier it is, and the less discomfort you will feel. So that's really awesome. The pricing on sugaring, it really depends on where you go. It is very close to waxing prices. It depends on what kind of salon or studio you're going to. If you're going to a place that's a little bit more high scale, a little bit more upscale, then it's going to be a little bit pricier, but it is definitely comparable to waxing. It's nothing super crazy and outrageous. It's, you know, I mean, it's the same thing. It's removing the hair, so it should be the same price, you know? I don't think that it should be like crazy amounts more, because it's more special. So those are the differences between sugaring and waxing. I definitely suggest to try sugaring if you have not before. There aren't tons of sugaring studios out there, but it is definitely becoming more popular, so that's an awesome thing. So there should, you know, if you don't have one in your area, hopefully you have one close to you, or maybe if you're going to go visit somebody, try and look up and see if they have one near them and go and check it out and try it out, and maybe suggest, hey, you need to open one up, you know, in my hometown, or, you know, wherever you live. I definitely, please go try it. If you are used to waxing and you kind of do that on a regular basis, try sugaring out, and I promise you, you will more than likely prefer it over waxing. Even if you've never waxed or anything before, I definitely suggest sugaring, because if you wax, you might never go back, because it's definitely an experience. I'm not going to tell you that it's not painful, and it's not, you know, it's like, oh, I didn't feel that at all. It's not like that at all. You definitely feel it, but it's definitely less uncomfortable than waxing is. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that about sugaring and waxing, or, you know, the differences and things like that, please leave the questions down below in the comments, and I will get back to you and answer them as best as I can. I don't think I have anything else to say. If I remember anything else, I'll also put it in the down bar as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for any of you who were wondering what some of the differences were between waxing and sugaring and stuff like that, and what sugaring actually is. I wish I had some sugar paste, because I would show you guys exactly how it is done. Unfortunately, I don't have any. You can make it yourself. I don't suggest it. I suggest for sure going and getting it professionally done, because you don't know how to use it properly. So thankfully I worked in a sugaring studio. I think that's all I have to say. And yeah, like I said, if you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments down below. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it if you enjoyed it and it was helpful. And don't forget to subscribe as well, and follow me on all of my social media. All of my links will be down below as always. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. Keep your eyes out for my next videos, and until next time, wake up and make up. Out some tips and tricks on how to make your eyes seem larger, especially if you already have smaller eyes and you tend to squint in pictures, like when you're smiling and things like that. These are just my tips and tricks and things that I suggest doing. Also, this video is a tutorial